Cognitions, the importance of thoughts and anger control. This section aims to demonstrate the link between beliefs and thoughts, to demonstrate the importance of thoughts in the development and maintenance of anger, as well as identify individuals' common thinking errors which increase the likelihood of becoming angry, and to explore the use of constructed thinking in the control of anger. The following is the basic model of anger and should be briefly reviewed. When a situation or trigger occurs, it is not the situation itself which causes the anger, but the way in which the person thinks about the situation. Thoughts are informed by our beliefs, which are based on past experiences, both cultural and personal factors. These factors also affect our degree of sensitivity to the trigger. How we think about all of these factors is amendable to change. Emotions arising from distorted thoughts can change and develop in intensity throughout the cycle. Negative emotions, such as fear, hurt, blame, or jealousy, are likely to generate further patterns of distorted thinking, which in turn create more intense emotion, such as anger. This process within the cycle produces specific behavior. If beliefs are irrational and thoughts are distorted, this behavior is likely to be out of proportion to the situation and have negative consequences. The following are some common cognitive coping strategies. 1. Self-calming. What we think affects the way we feel. Distorted thinking can increase the likelihood of negative emotions such as anger, while calming or challenging thoughts can reduce the impact of these feelings. Self-calming statements are thoughts that can be both prepared in advance to anticipate and cope with the situation or trigger, or used to cope with the situation or trigger when it arises, and used to calm ourselves down from a situation or trigger that has passed. An example of a distorted thought. He's getting at me. A possible self-calming statement. Don't take it personally. Two, distraction. Sometimes we have a tendency to dwell on things that make us angry. This in turn increases our sensitivity. Ruminating does not actually accomplish anything and can make us feel more embittered and angry. Therefore, deliberately choosing to think of something else, a distraction, can help us make us feel better or at least give us a break and prevent us from escalating all of our negative feelings. It is also important to note that distraction is a specific coping strategy for ruminating and should not be used to avoid dealing with or resolving with situations. Some examples of self-distraction are: count to 10, imagine a peaceful, relaxing scene, or remember a pleasant event. Another example of a cognitive coping strategy is humor. Humor is a positive emotion and is therefore incompatible with negative feelings such as fear, hurt, blame, or anger. Attempting to see the funny side of a situation will give rise to humorous thoughts, such as imagining our opponent slipping on a banana skin. Similarly, being able to bring to mind an amusing memory will help dispel unpleasant feelings. A fourth cognitive coping strategy might be rationalizing. This technique involves examining our thoughts and challenging them objectively. Standing back from our thoughts can allow us to view them from a different perspective. Viewing the situation from the perspective of our opponent is particularly valuable. For example, we could ask ourselves, if I were him, what would I be thinking or feeling? Another cognitive coping strategy might be self-praise. After a difficult situation has passed, we may still be left with unpleasant feelings, particularly if we have held ourselves back from losing control. Praising ourselves for remaining in control, for example, can help to make us feel better about the situation and increase the likelihood of our future success. A final cognitive coping strategy might be focusing on the task. This is a cognitive technique which helps us to focus on the objective or task which needs to be accomplished. It is easy to get sidetracked into irrelevant and personal issues. Reminding ourselves of our goal, for example, getting permission to have the day off of work or getting our car repaired, will help us to detach ourselves from the negative feelings we may be experiencing in the situation. I hope you weren't expecting the banana peel.